Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our live stream. We're so pleased to have Monique Morman and Beverly Brooks and Carolyn Wilson here today to discuss H.E.R. story, her story, Healed, Empowered, Resilient. It's an anthology assembled by Carolyn Wilson, and we're very pleased to be discussing it today. For those of you who are just joining us and have never been to our store before, we are Lost City Books, a used, new, and rare bookstore located in the heart of Washington, D.C. And we spend a lot of time very carefully choosing books that we care about and we think belong on our shelves. So we're really excited to discuss her story today. And I'll start my video now. I'd like to welcome our speakers today. Welcome, everyone. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Doing awesome.
I'm really excited to have you all talking about this book today. And I'd like to first ask you all to go around and just tell us a little bit about your background and how you became involved with this anthology.
So, of course, as Shay said, I am Monique Morman, and I am from District Heights, Maryland. I do quite a bit. I wear different hats. So I have my own cleaning business. I'm a part-time actress. I am executive director of my nonprofit organization. I am my brother's keeper. I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother, and I am an author. And so how I got involved with her story was through Carolyn Wilson, who is our visionary for the book. She sent out an all call for authors just to come in and share our stories, the experiences that we've been through. And so I was in a time in my life where I was making a transition because I'm originally from Brooklyn. And so I'm here now in Maryland. And I thought, what a great idea to share what I had been going through. And that's how I got involved.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess we can bounce it over here to the Brooks. I am event planner for over 25 years, co-owner of WBNC Breaking Chains Radio, internet-based radio station with over 3.5 million listeners for the past 7, going on 8 years. Event planning business, B&B event consultants, amongst other things. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother of 5. I'm a 2-time award-winning and international award-winning actress for 2 movies, Sugar and Heartless. And then I became an awesome best-selling author, being a part of her story, which was by our visionary, Miss Carolyn Wilson. Got into it mainly because I needed to tell my story. I did get pushed a little bit to actually get it out there. But once it was out there, it's just such a relief that I was just like, oh, thank you. So I'm out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's me.
Carolyn?
Yes. Hi, thank you so much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're at in the world watching us today or on a replay. My name is Carolyn Wilson, and I am coming to you from the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Many hats that I do wear. First and foremost, I am a child of God. My higher power, that's whom I choose. And so I have to give credit and acknowledgement, because we wouldn't even be here talking about her story if it wasn't for him in my life. So with that, he has graced me to become a 5-time best-selling author, a multi-award winning international filmmaker, a international motivational speaker, a life coach, a lifestyle coach, what else I am? So many things, resilient master trainer, just so many different things. A mentor to these amazing 25 women and others around the world. So that is me in a nutshell. I'm a mom of two amazing, amazing children. I'm like I said, I'm just me. At the end of the day, I'm just Carolyn. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you. And Rhonda, are you able to come on the microphone, or do you want to talk here?
I'm here. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. My name is Rhonda Watson. I am a mom of three beautiful children. I'm also a customer experience consultant. I help business owners with their customer service strategies as much as I can, they will allow me to. Uh, I work for the government here in New York City. I volunteer to help out in the local schools here in my school district. And I'm a caregiver to my mom as well as my three beautiful children. And I want to thank my cousin Monique for inviting me to this platform. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to have you all here, especially because just hearing about each of your backgrounds and all of the amazing things that you do in your day-to-day life, I know for a fact that all of that empowerment and healing and resilience that we're talking about are infused in the book as well. So I'm curious about each of your contributions to the book in whatever form they may have been, and how you came to decide this was what you wanted to offer. We can go in the same order if you want to go first, Monique.
I'm gonna let them go.
Okay, so what inspired me so much was one, that it was a collaborative effort of not just one person or one group of people, but it expanded around the world. And when Carolyn first, had our first meeting and just described all the things that we were going to do, what was important about this mission. And it is a mission because we have to start the healing from within. And so from there, we talked about all the different things that would be coming about. And it was a spiritual moment. The first meeting was an actual spiritual moment that had us all caught. And from there, even if you had a doubt, it was apparent that this was going to be something big and beyond our belief. And it's still happening. And that's our new slogan, it's happening. And ironically enough, there's a commercial. I wish I had recorded it, but there's a commercial now that they're talking about an event and they're saying, it's happening, it's happening. And I zoned in because it's like, that's us. That's our thing, So you gravitate toward all these positivities that make you know that healing is possible and that you can get over that hump. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. And there was no way that I could not be involved in something so important, not only in our time, but also to me, because there was a time where I wasn't able to sit here and express so much of myself. And I attribute that all to being involved in this anthology. And I'm just so grateful that Carolyn had the vision and followed through, and that I said yes.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful way to start it off.
Let me see. I probably nobody would know is that I really wasn't going to tell my story at all. it was just going to stay close knit. But after, like Monique said, after being on that first initial call to action, and you're on there and you said yes, it was just, it was no way that you could not express your story, that you could not say, you know, I've been healed from it, so why not, you know, stand up and be resilient for it and empower other people to actually, you know, say that it is okay. And the process was amazing. It's a whole sisterhood has been generated where, you know, it doesn't matter where you're from, you know, what religion, it doesn't matter. Your color, nothing. It's just a whole sisterhood that we got together and we prayed for each other, backed each other. And as far as contributing to the book, it was my story that I contribute to the book to actually help somebody else. You know, to say that it is okay, that, you know, the time is now. And it is happening. It's been happening. It's going to continue to happen. So it's just been an amazing journey. And all of these beautiful women, just beautiful, from the ages in their 20s to in their 70s. And it's just amazing. I just love them all.
I see Jerry came on. I want her to go. Unmute your phone, Jerry. Jerry, unmute.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I'm sitting in the car, pulled over to a Waffle House, just left a big meeting with some people in the community. And when I saw the text from Carolyn, I said, oh, I got to get on. I'm not going to miss anything that gives me a chance to talk about how excited I was to get in on this project, and to piggyback off of Bev and some of the others. Yes, it is a movement, and we have become very close knit, and we support each other, and it just continues to snowball. So I don't know where it's going to take us, but wherever it takes us, I'm going. And my story, I wanted to share it. So hopefully it might help heal someone else, from emotional pain. And and I see the future as going everywhere, touching many, many hearts. Thank you. I love all of y'all. Wish I could be there right now with each one of y'all. Omnipresent.
Jerry, also tell them where you're from.
Oh, sorry. I'm from Philadelphia, but I moved down to Atlanta, Georgia back in the middle 80s. And, but I continue to still have that mentality that I can do whatever I want to do. And I want to spread that to as many folks as I can. Okay. Right. Oh, thank you, Monique, for this opportunity to talk about her story. Love you too.
Beautiful.
Did I answer all my questions?
Excellent. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So I want to hear so many of your stories. I want to hear more and more and more. And I'm so excited by the talk of sisterhood and how you all came together and created more than just an anthology of essays and stories and this and that, but you created a community and a movement with the work. So I wanted to ask Carolyn, as the spark that set this fire, can you tell us a little bit more about how this process unfolded when you started? Did you intend for it to become this much of a movement of a community, or did you think, I'm just going to put a book together? It's no thing. What did you think was going to happen when you started?
I didn't expect and anticipate any of this. I'm just being transparent and 100% honest. It was something that was placed in my spirit for quite some time, and it was something that I ran from, like many things that a lot of people do. We get these ideas, we get these feelings, and we feel like, I should do this. Like, Lost City Books. Like, I'm pretty sure it was this lost idea in your head somewhere, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I think we're going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're just going to do it, right? And so then here we are. We have this whole establishment. Well, that's kind of like what happened with this book. I was jotting things down. We always jot things down. I believe we need to pay attention to the things that we scribble. It's not scribble. It's our soul giving us our blueprint. It's us telling us what we should be doing and writing it down. God says, write it down and make it plain. We write it down. Even if we draw it out, there's something that we are transcribing to ourselves. We just have to get into a different realm to recognize it and connect with it and accept it. And for the longest time, I didn't accept it because I was like, okay, yeah, her, yeah, I think I'm gonna do a book with her story. I'm gonna do these women. I'm like, I was like, but what does her stand for? And I just kept asking that. And I kept jotting different variations of what I thought her was. But this healed, empowered, and resilient kept coming up. It just kept coming up. It just kept coming up. And yet I still, that one part of me was like, yes, do it. That other part was like, yeah, right. Who gonna want to do a book with you? No, I'm just real rap, right? Who gonna want? Really? Like, okay, so what? You already wrote a book. That's okay. So what? You already did a couple other anthologies. It doesn't matter. You're still just Carolyn. Remember that, right? You're just Carolyn, right? You're just Carolyn. But then I had to go, yeah, but I am Carolyn, right? And you're giving this to me for a reason. And it really, 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 truly, one of our authors that's in this book, I should have tagged her so she could have come on too, but all of them know. So it's just a matter of their time and if they can come on. It was because of her, ironically, why H.E.R even exists. Because I've had so many people reach out to me to say, hey, I have a story. I want to write a book and I need you to help me. And I'm going, I don't do that. I don't help people write books. I don't write books. I speak, I talk. I'm a motivational speaker. Yeah, I'm on the stages. Like, I'm not writing. I'm not helping people write a book. Are you kidding me? I coach you, but not to write a book. But she came to me in such a way that I had to pay attention. Like when things come to you, it's like, okay, this is for a reason. And I didn't shy away. She literally came to me with, instructions from our higher power and gave her my whole name. We didn't know each other from a can of paint. We had no other connections. And yet I was like, you know what? I'm trusting this process. So I took her on as a client to help her with her book. And in that process, now that whole H.E.R kept coming back up and it kept boiling up. And it was like, okay, that whisper in my ear was like, it's time. It's time. It's time. And I went, okay, you're right. It's time. And I will tell you, I did it shaking in my boots. I did it afraid. I didn't know what to expect. I just said, okay, I'm going to put it out there and whoever shows up, shows up. My job is to be there for those who show up. I had my very first person who jumped on board. Shout out to Sydney Brown, also in Atlanta by way of Kansas City. She was like, so is this going to happen? Is it happening? And I was like, yep, it's going to happen. Because I was like, I don't care if it's 2 people on this book. This book is going to happen because I'm going to do this book. Little did I know, it was going to be 25 women, that the final product will be 25 women from around the world, touching every corner of this globe, 6 continents. If I can find the happy feet, the penguin that knows how to, talk with his feet, and then I can claim all 7 continents. But until then, I got all 6. So I'm just saying.
That is remarkable. It's so remarkable to hear how all of these incredible women came together. And I'd love to hear some more from our other contributors too about what their their end of the process was like when you started writing your piece and contributing to what turned into a best-selling anthology. How did you draw from your own life and your experience to find your truth to put on the page?
So for me,
Oh, Monique, I think you froze. We'll come back to you, Monique, but
Yeah, well, I'll jump in.
just to help out, but then it became, hey, mom, why don't you stay? So in the process, I was still kind of transitioning from my hoarding tendencies, because my title is Hoarding Made Easy, No Quick Fix. And as I said, I was right in the middle of it. So you learn all these techniques, how to declutter and how to strip away all the things that you're surrounded by, but you're not fully away from that moment where, okay, what is causing it? And so my spirit was just like, you've got to share this. Yes, there are the shows that you see, but it doesn't give a full aspect of what happens to the person. What are they actually going through? How does it affect the other people around them? And so I was in that moment, and it was important to share that this has many layers, and we have to peel back the layers that people may not want to see, people may not want to hear, but it's here. Everyone goes through it, whether it's in a small quantity or large quantity. Everyone goes through it because it's a learned behavior. And when you have trauma and a learned behavior, hoarding. Okay. And so for me, it was that pivotal moment to not only help others, but help myself heal. I lost my sister in 2018. I had lost an aunt just the previous year before that. And so just, like collecting things, collecting them, staying in that moment. And this helped free me. Her story freed me.
thank you.
Wow, thank you, Monique, for that. And for me, it was a way of not only helping me heal, but it gave me an opportunity to write, to share my story and share with others who might have gone through the same thing that I was going through, a loss, and they weren't able to live through it and grow and set goals and do things. They were stuck. And so I said, let me share how I was able to carry on. And I knew a lot of people needed to hear that, regardless of the loss, a loss of a house, a loss of a sibling, a loss of any loved one, a husband, whatever. They just needed to be able to, acknowledge that they were hurting, and then use that hurt to push them to do other things, to maybe honor that person, or establish a foundation in their name, whatever, but just give them that hope that they could move forward. And I was just so happy to be able to share it, because I didn't really, before the book, I didn't really share that with everybody. It was like something personal. So, I just hope that I can continue to share more stories,
Mm-hmm. And
that was, yeah.
I appreciate that so much. And Beverly, I want to hear your part as well, but I have some other questions for you all too about the community surrounding this book as well.
At the ending of this, well, first, her story is not ended just yet. We not ending. This is not an end. This is a continuation, and it's going to keep going. But did I expect certain things to come from this? The reactions that I got from a lot of people that have read the book has been amazing. And to just know that you have touched somebody in some way, and they may not, because my chapter is Beyond My Shadow of Death. So coming from a whole situation of having migraines to all of a sudden now I have an aneurysm. So then it boils down to getting the surgery, having a craniotomy at 33. Then you turn around and you die on the table to be brought back. And you have to sit up there and say, okay, well, it's not done. You know, your life isn't done. You still have some other things that need to be accomplished. And then to turn around some years later, after going through transfusions and all that kind of stuff, you found out that you've been diagnosed with HIV. Like, how, you know, your whole life is like, there you go, dying all over again. So it took a lot for me because of the stigma that surrounds all of that, to actually get it out there. But just to know that people can relate because it's somebody or themselves that's going through the same thing, and the responses that we got from everything. Because in Monique's, I'm a hoarder. Yes, I am. I am a hoarder. I can attest to that. I am. So every last chapter in this book has actually brought out something to say that, okay, yeah, that's a little bit of me. Like, okay, I can relate to that. You know, I know somebody who can relate to that. So that's the ending part for me, seeing that part and feeling all of that part from all of the wonderful ladies in the book. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And you know, something that really strikes me about this anthology as well is that so much of the trauma or the trials or the difficulties that women, especially Black women, have to deal with are usually dealt with invisibly behind the mask, behind the closed doors, especially because, and going again, because this is a group of Black women we're talking about right now. Black woman is always expected to be the one holding it down, supporting everyone else, and rarely receiving as much care and attention, or even the time to give the care and attention to yourself, right? So to see that this anthology has brought together so many people who have strived to reach for that healing and empowerment and to support each other, it's beautiful to see. And I wonder, when is volume 2 so I can get involved? But I want to talk a little bit more about that and how important it is to bring these stories to the surface, and share them with the world in a way that's, so to speak, for us, by us, rather than by somebody else, for somebody else, but supposedly about us. You know what I mean? And I
Definitely.
think, Carolyn, if you want to expand on that a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you're so right. Like, we have to get our stories out, and it's for the world. That's why it was so important for this to take place. For myself, and this is kind of, you know how you just kind of have this, you know what you want to do, but you just don't know the how, right? And you just don't know what's the best way to do it. But I truly believe that once you put stuff out there, and you're open to it, then the universe will allow everything to transpire exactly the way it needs to. So for me, I have already, once again, like I said, I have already written a book. I was in a couple other anthologies, and I was already speaking my truth of being molested at a young age, through all my formative years of life. by my biological father. So that was my foundation of being molested, and then allowing that to set the new pathway for my life based on those occurrences, which then turned into domestic violence, which then turned into bouts with homelessness, which then turned into being on welfare, which then turned into being a teenage mom, which then turned into having children out of wedlock, different baby dads, like all of that stuff, right? You name it, it was me. I fit all of those narratives. But it wasn't until, I had to just make a choice and say no more. And I want my life to be different. And I made that choice earlier in life because I became a super overachiever, earning 3 degrees, being on board. So if you know people who are overachievers, if you peel back, it's something, guaranteed. Overachievers got something because they're trying to prove something to either someone else or to themselves or both, right? So yeah, I fit that category. But even though I had, found my place, found myself in places and spaces that I did not, where other people didn't expect me to be, where other people didn't expect me to be, 1, because of my color, 2, because of my gender, right? So you don't see too many people in the boardroom that look like me, at least back when I was when I was on the boards. You didn't see too many people as young as, so I had youth on my side, because I'm young, I'm a little older now. So I had youth on my side, I had my color, and then I had the sex that I am. And so those were those 3 things that just didn't occur. I was in a whole different world, but yet I was breaking all those barriers and I was there. But I didn't feel like I belonged there because of all that other stuff, because of the other stuff that never really truly belonged to me. But I learned to start telling my story and share my story and own my story, and started to just fill in those gaps. And while I was doing that, there were so many people, men, women, children, different nationalities, different religions, all coming to me, sharing their same truth, saying that was me. And I have a story to tell, and I want to write a book, and I want to, and it became so overwhelming that I'm like, I can't take on other people's stuff. But at the same token, I know the freedom and what this is causing me, and I want them to have this freedom as well. So it set me on this path that allowed me to have the visibility and allow me to have all the connections and resources, or whatever you want to call it, to allow me to then have this platform that allows other people to speak their truth and to share their truth and to ultimately become free. I remember I had told, when we had did just like this, what we're doing, actually, I was in person in Detroit at Source Booksellers, and I had the rest of the ladies on Zoom like we are. And one of our ladies from New Zealand was on. And I remember and I asked her, because she got placed in my spirit to be in this book, because I knew her story and I knew she needed to be free. So first she said no, because she was like, nah, I don't really, because at the time, I was on Dr. Oz, I was on cover of Women's World magazine. So I was out there, right? Because that's where God placed me. Like, he has to place me where people are at, right? I got to meet people where they're at, right? And so that's in the world, So, and I remember her saying, well, I don't really care about being famous. Who said anything about being famous? This is about your freedom. This ain't got nothing to do with fame. This got everything to do with your freedom. So she eventually said yes. And I can tell you, by watching all of these ladies, the ones that are here today and all of the other ones, when I tell you that they all are different, if you could talk to every single last one of them, they will all tell you the same thing. They came into this one way, and they are definitely coming out a totally different way, renewed, restored, rejuvenated. Like, the freedom is uncantingly, it's just amazing to watch them blossom and grow the way they have. And that's just been this is why it's a movement, right? Because it's more than just a book. And I had typed it in the chat, it's more than just a book. It is a movement for all of us to understand that I am her, you are her, we are all her. Like I share my platform, I share my stage because it's like turning the house lights on. Like the spotlight might be on me, but I'm turning it on so it's on all of us. So all of us can shine and all of us can share our genius. And it doesn't matter, yes, you know, for us, by us, this is true, but we are still all one body. And like I said, I have representatives, I have someone on this book from New Zealand, from Hong Kong, from Kenya, from London, from Barbados, Guyana, which is in South America for people who don't know their geographical areas, and then also all throughout the United States, different ages, as Beverly said, different religions, different beliefs, idolatries. But at the same token, we're all here to be healed. We're all here to show that we are empowered, and we're all here to show that we are resilient, because I had the courage to tell my story. It gave these women the courage to finally tell theirs. And now it's allowing other women and men around the world to have the courage to finally be free and share and tell their stories. Because that's one thing, I've met people around in this journey that are keeping this stuff to their grave, and they're not able to be free. And then they wonder why their life can't progress the way they really truly want it to be. You can't own your business. You can't do the things and be a great pillar of your community or to even your family until you set your soul free. That's why this is so important to me, that this continues. As Beverly said, there is a H.E.R story too, because this is it's happening. As my, you know, Alana from Barbados, it's happening. I gotta say it on my Caribbean accent because now I'm feeling it. What do they call me? I'm Americanese. That's what I am. I'm Americanese.
You know, honestly, in a way, I feel like meeting you all and having this discussion is exactly what I needed right now in my life, because you are all speaking truth to power right now. And it means a lot to me to be able to talk with you all, especially about this wonderful project and this movement. I'll take a moment to remind our viewers we have some viewers who are leaving some wonderful comments on the live stream. If you have any questions, you can type your questions into the comment section, and we'll get to those in just a few minutes. But yes, thank you again, Carolyn, for the words of power. I love it. So up next, I wanted to ask Monique, I think you have a copy of the book in front of you. If you'd like to read an excerpt, and Beverly, if you have yours in front of you too and would like to read a short excerpt from the book, we would all really appreciate it.
Monique would probably have to do all of that because I had the pleasure of actually I had to sell two of my two complimentary books.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Better pull your e-copy up.
Right. All right. So, as Carolyn says, what we do is we support each other, we lift each other up. And Jerry had left in the comments that she didn't have her book, so I'm not gonna read from mine. I did get my title, Hoarding Made Easy, No Quick Fix, but I'm gonna read from Jerry's chapter. Okay. Emotional bondage. You are not your pain. One of the hardest things for me was to admit that I was depressed. My grief came not only from the loss of my son, his father, and several childhood friends, but a friend and a cousin-in-law who passed from suicide. I realized I was also mourning the loss of a favorite uncle who had disappeared when I was a young child. Yes, I was living my life carrying around a great deal of emotional pain. Acknowledging that losses in my life in any form was an important step. Come on, Jerry, don't get me started. I've been holding it back.
Oof.
We all need a second to.
that yeah, I had to think, that really touched me. And it helped me acknowledge that I was still, you know, that had all those things that affected me in a way that it was holding me prisoner, because I'd wake up some mornings, I'm happy, I'm energetic, I'm ready to do whatever. And then other days, I couldn't get out the bed. I'm like, what is wrong with me? What is going on? And then for me to put it down on paper, it just brought everything to the forefront. And then, like, as Carolyn said, I'm an overachiever. I tried to do as much as I could just to cover it up, just so I wouldn't have to think about it. So yes, I have 2 master's degrees. I'm HOA president, over 281 houses. I sit on the board for my district. I'm just doing everything. But now I have a purpose for those things that I'm doing. It's not just I'm doing it to forget. I'm doing it to heal. I'm helping others. And so when I think about the deaths that I've had that have really affected me, I think about what I can do to honor those people instead of, oh, woe is me, I lost him, I'll never get over it. Why did it happen to me and not her? And I'm so good and da 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 da. No, I use it as a way of giving me hope for the future and hope for others. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's it. Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to the next chapter, so that I can share even more. I can get deeper, because this was just hitting the surface. And I want to do my own book as well, but I'll never get away from collaboration, because there's no feeling like being connected to others.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I want to know what's next steps for all of you now that you've created this international sensation, and connected this broad network of not just the contributors to the book, but the readers who will see themselves in the work and see areas where, oh, I share this with these people, and they're not alone, right? Is there really going to be a volume 2, or is it going to become more of a network, more of a platform as well, or both?
Mm-hmm.
Both.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
both.
All of the above. All of the above. I just left a place where now I want to talk to Carolyn. We can do a retreat there. I can get it, for nothing, really, if I can connect it with the community. And I'm like, God, what are you trying to show me? Yeah, it's over like 100 and some acres, so I'm sure we're going to come up with other projects that can help us grow, and help others. That's the purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's all the above, like Jerry said. It's her story too, which I already have authors already set up and lined up for her story too. Still accepting authors, right? As people are ready to share and tell their story, right? Still accepting it for 2023 to be part of this whole community and this whole movement. And it's her story too, because we already know that we're her. We're all her. Even men are her, right? Healed, empowered, resilient, right? We're all her. But at the end of the day, you know, her story too is, there's a twist on that one, because together we're overcoming obstacles, because being resilient allows you to overcome these obstacles that will continuously come your way. You just built yourself up strong to know how to maneuver them when they come and how they show up and when they show up. And then you just bounce back. It's not about, like Jerry was saying, okay, well, I'm gonna stay stuck in this stuff. Because trust me, I know about being stuck. I was stuck for 15 years. You know, like I was stuck in 15 years from a domestic violence relationship, and the person wasn't even in my household anymore, but still was controlling all of me. Right. So how is that even possible when it is possible? And a lot of us are stuck in our stuff and we don't even realize or understand it. And the truth is, it's not even ours to hold on to. It belongs to someone else. So if you give me a second, I want to really just, I won't read anything in the book, but I want to just give you the titles. Jerry, can you mute your phone for a second? I want to give you the titles of all of the, so you can kind of get a flavor for what these stories are about. So coming to you from Barbados, Alana, Rediscovering Me. Coming from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Persevere with Elsa. Angie, coming from Philadelphia, Living Married with Jezebel, and It Ain't a Woman. Beverly Brooks, Beyond My Shadow of Death. Candace, coming to you from the beautiful country of Guyana, Follow That Dream. Coming from the cheese county of the world, Wisconsin, The Day She Stopped. Coming from New Jersey, Knowing Your Worth and to Whom It Really Matters. Coming to you from Texas, Louisville, outside of Dallas, that is, Quest for Love. And then you just heard Jerry's story, Emotional Bondage, You Are Not Your Pain. Coming from Kenya, Run to Tell. Coming to you from South Carolina, Lost in Time, The Hidden Secret of Sibling Abuse. Coming to you from one of our eldest in our group, coming to you from New Jersey, It's Never Too Late. Coming to you all the way from New Zealand, Every Life is Full Circle. Then you have Monique, Hoarding, Made Easy, No Quick Fix. Sabrina from Philadelphia, I Am a Conqueror. Salamaline, coming to you from Virginia, The Caretaker's Wilderness. H.E.R, coming to you from across the pond in London, Your Past Doesn't Define Your Future. Shauna, all the way from North New York, Your past, no, It Didn't Break Me. I Didn't Let It Break Me, excuse me. Coming to you from Hong Kong, H.E.R. Coming to you from Austin, Texas, The Year 2030. Coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, Is It Me? Coming to you from Philadelphia, Tara, She Is Her. Coming to you from Texas by way of Connecticut, Tatisha, Mrs. Misfit. Coming to you from North Carolina, Tanisha Langley, Life on Fast Forward, then Pause and Restart. And then coming to you from Detroit, Michigan, by way of North Carolina, Starving for Truth. And our forward by the amazing Daria Chisholm, For Such a Time as This. And then you have me, The Power of Her Story. So I wanted to just read you all the titles so that way you can get an idea. There are so many different variations of stories. They're not all like mine. They're all not like Bev's. They're all not like Jerry's nor Monique's. But there is something that intertwines us and weaves us all together as one. Hence why we have this whole motto. It's I am her, you are her, we are her.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And just listening to some of those titles, I can really get a sense that it covers so many different bases. It comes from so many different corners of the world and of life. And it's just so necessary. It's such a necessary movement, book, community piece of literature, if you want to call it literature. But what I want to hear from each of our guests today, before we close things up, is why should the average person read this book? We've heard all these beautiful, good reasons from each of you, but what's the thing that sticks out in your mind as this is why this book is important?
So what I can say is the time is now. Don't wait. The time is now. Read this book. Let it pull you out of where you have been stuck. Let it make you realize, because some people don't realize that they're stuck. Let it heal not only you, but the next person. Don't keep it to yourself. Just like Callan asked us not to keep these stories to ourselves, to share it with others and to help heal the world. Get it for your mother, get it for your sister, get it for the women in your life that have been stripped of so much for so many years and never had a voice. Get it for your brother, your uncle, your father, who never understood. Yeah, we're not just ducks quacking. We have real substance. There's something that you need to understand. And for those men who do understand, this book is for them to say, yeah, this was my mom. This was my sister. This was my aunt. This is somebody I know who is important to me, and I want to share it.
Thank you. Beverly?
I found that is for somebody to read that book, and actually, and I've come across this, and I just wanted to say, because I actually had the book with me, and I was reading the other ladies, and it's just the face of the book. The face of the book attracts so much attention that it's like, you just look at it, and you're like, what's that? And as soon as they say, what's that? I'm right there. Well, 25 amazing women in this book that tell how they became healed, empowered, and resilient. Soon as people hear healed, empowered, and resilient, they want to know, well, how did that person do it? Because there's something going on within them. So it's always something within somebody that when they see, just they read those words, and it just is, that's a pop. That book alone, just looking at it, is empower. It's the power that comes from it. Excuse me, I'm getting the power that actually comes from that book, and that generates, and it's, I can honestly say, because you can look at a book and you can say whether you want to read it or not. And they always say, don't judge a book by its cover. Because there's a lot of people who may look at it and be like, oh, that's another one of those inspiration. We want to inspire somebody to do something. They just want something, but not knowing and realizing the impact that it has on anybody, whether you're going through something or not, because technically everybody's going through something. They may not want to recognize it at that point in time, but everybody's going through something. Be in denial as you wish, but you're going through something. And so that the book itself, just looking at it, it's just you're drawn to it. There's so much light within that book. It's like if you put it in a dark room, that's going to illuminate the whole room. It can be placed in places with darkness surrounding it. It's going to illuminate the whole room. You have no choice but to look to that light and say, what is that? So that's, yeah.
Okay. And for me, the book is so relatable. That's what makes it so powerful and makes it so important to share because it is relatable. I've shared it with men, women, gay, straight, Black, white, and each and every one of them have been able to relate just to the title. And it just amazes me how the men have I just shared last night with the guy about the book, and he stood there for like almost a half an hour wanting me to tell him more and more about the book. And I was so sorry I didn't have a copy with me because I really would have just given him the book. He was so intrigued. So I knew right away he related to the title. And so I just think it's just important right now because, like everyone else has said, so many people are hurting. They don't understand why. They don't know how to get out of it. And it's just so much just happening with, with the pandemic that we're still going through, and people have lost so many loved ones from suicide. And it's just so much in that book that they can relate to, that it's important now, as Monique said, now more than any time, in my history. So it was right on time, right on time. I could probably sell 10 books a day just sharing it. So I am just uh I, I knew it was going to be a big hit. I knew that, but I just didn't see this impact coming the way it's coming. It's just amazing. That's all I can say. It's amazing. It's happening and it's amazing.
Thank you. I can feel the positivity, the energy, the connection that you all have, even through the screen right now. So I know that our viewers at home can as well. And just want to let our viewers know, if you want to get a copy of the book, go ahead to lostcitybookstore.com. We have them on hand and we can ship them to you, or you can hop on into the store and grab a copy as well. But be careful because we already sold a couple. So they might be gone before you get there. But thank you all so much, so much for sharing your stories, for sharing your journey and the journey of Her Story anthology. It has been so wonderful getting to know you all a little bit better. And I just want to close with, if our viewers want to keep up with you personally, if you have a personal website or anything like that, a Twitter or something like that you want to share, please let us know right now so we can all keep up with the amazing work that you all are doing.
Okay, well, they can keep up with me on therealjerry.com. That's my website. Or they can go to Facebook and friend me at Jerry Savage, Savage, Aldridge. But if you put in Jerry, Gerri, Aldridge, it should bring me up.
Anybody else?
And I'm also on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, the Real Jerry on Instagram.
Monique?
Okay, for me, you can go to Facebook, Monique Morman. You can go on Instagram, The Little Drummer Girl 3, and also I Am My Brother's Keeper 2126. You can also email me, monique.morman0812 @gmail.com.
All right. I can be found on Instagram as the original Bev Brooks. They can either go to our website for the radio station, wbncradio.net. I'm on Facebook as Beverly Brooks. Instagram, because I control all of it. So Instagram, WBNC Radio, they can get me there. They can get me at BMB Event Consultants on Instagram also. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and thank you once again for allowing us this time and space. Definitely so appreciated. We're definitely and no longer in a lost city, but now we've been found. So thank you. I just want to let all my ladies know I'm just super proud of them. The ones that are here and the ones who are watching and just supporting from afar. This is a heart-centered project. This is a faith walk and a faith talk. And I'm just, like I said, I just am sitting back and I'm just gleaming off of just to watch everybody's growth and to see how they are and how they're being represented. I'm just super proud of all of you. I know I told y'all anyway, but I want to let the world know again. So my name is Carolyn Wilson. I can be found on all social media platforms under Magnify Your Essence. You can also find me on Instagram under BE Magnified. You can also go to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/Carolyn Wilson. And that'll provide you with all of my links, all of the ways you can get in touch with me, with my school, MYE Institute, if there's some self-development or some courses or things you may want to work on for yourself, you want to work with me, you would like to be part of Her Story Too, Together Overcoming Obstacles, you would like to be part of the Celebrating You Women's Conference, which is coming up next month, where the end of the Her Story World Pop-Up Book Tour will be ending. We will be celebrating. This is my first weekend home. I've been all around the country and all around the world for the past few months, just celebrating with all, including Monique, with all of these ladies to really, celebrate them with this milestone, because it took a lot for them to become transparent is one thing, but when you can become vulnerable, that's a whole nother ball game. And that's worth being celebrated. So that's where you can reach me. And I hope to work with all of you in some way, shape, or form. But Her Story is a life changer. That's all I'm going to say. It's something that you need in your library. It's something that you need to pull to when you need something, from, there's so many different, once again, stories in there, which are their truths, but they're showing you how they got to where they're at now. And those are the important tools that we all need. And hopefully that will allow you to then come on your path, and then you'll be able to share your story so someone else can then share theirs. So I thank you once again. And I hope everyone have a wonderful and blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You all, I wish you the best. I appreciate your time, and you all have a great afternoon and evening, or wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. Good night, everybody.